Welcome back to Women Are Chosen podcast, episode 33, How God Led Me to Phoenix Rising During the Holidays. Welcome back to Women Are Chosen podcast. I'm Pamela Knight, and this is episode 33. If you've been listening for a while, you know we've covered a lot of ground together, plus 30 plus episodes of healing, hope, and rising from the ashes. But today, I want to take you back to where it all began, back to the moment when God gave me the vision for Phoenix Women Rising Ministry. This happened during the holidays, a time when many of us are reflecting, praying, and asking God, what's next? And God answered me in a way I never expected. So grab your coffee, settle in, and let me tell you the story of how Phoenix Women Rising was born. Part 1. The moment God gave me the Phoenix vision, it was during the holiday season. I can't remember if it was Thanksgiving or Christmas, but I remember the feeling, that quiet space between the busyness of life when God speaks, if we're listening, if we're willing to listen. I've been counseling women for over 20 years by that point. 20 years of sitting with women who'd experienced trauma, abuse, abandonment, addiction, betrayal, loss. 20 years of come in broken and leave. Well, sometimes still broken because healing takes time. Healing takes more than one conversation or one prayer. And I was wrestling with God. I was asking Him, Lord, I've been faithful. I've been serving thee for 2 decades, but I need more. They need more. What's the next level of ministry? And that's when God showed me the phoenix. Not literally. I didn't see a bird flying through my living room, but the image came to my spirit, the concept, the truth. The phoenix rises from its own ashes. And God said to me, Pamela, that's what you've been doing. You rose from your ashes. And that's what these women are doing. They're not just surviving, they're rising. They're becoming new. They're being transformed by fire. And I wept because I realized this wasn't just a ministry, this was my story. This was their story. This was God's story of redemption. Phoenix Women Rising wasn't just a name, it was a declaration. Part 2. Why Phoenix and not another name? Now, some of you might be wondering, Pamela, why Phoenix? Why not something more biblical? Why not overcomers or victorious women or daughters of the king? And those are beautiful names. But here's why God led me to Phoenix. The Phoenix is universal. Women from every culture, every background, every religion recognize the Phoenix symbol. It's ancient, it's powerful, it transcends language and borders. When I say Phoenix Women Rising, a woman in Africa knows what I mean. A woman in Asia knows. A woman in South America knows. We all understand the image of rising from ashes. The Phoenix tells the full story. It's not just about victory, it's about the fire, it's about the death, it's about the ashes. See, a lot of Christian language skips over the hard part. We say, God turned my mess into a message, or I'm blessed and highly favored. And that's true, but we forget to talk about the fire that got us there. The phoenix doesn't skip the fire, the phoenix goes through the fire. And that's the truth of trauma recovery. And don't get to skip the grief. You don't get to skip the counseling. You don't get to skip the hard conversations, the sleepless nights, the tears, the triggers. You must walk through the fire to become the phoenix. The phoenix is a process, not an event. The phoenix doesn't rise once and stays forever. In the mythology, the phoenix lives, dies, burns, and rises again in cycles. And that's the truth of healing too. You don't know, you don't heal once and never struggle again. You have good days and hard days. You have breakthroughs and setbacks. Healing is not linear, but every time you rise, every time you're stronger, you're wiser. You're more of who God created you to be. That's why Phoenix, because it's honest, it's real, it's the truth of what women go through. Part three, Isaiah 61:3, the biblical foundation. Now, even though Phoenix is a universal symbol, Phoenix Women Rising Ministry is firmly rooted in Scripture. Our foundation verse is Isaiah 61:3, to bestow on them a crown of beauty instead of ashes, the oil of joy instead of mourning, and a garment of praise instead of a spirit of despair. Beauty for ashes. That's gospel message right there. God doesn't just remove the ashes, He transforms them. He takes what was burned, broken, destroyed, and makes it beautiful. That's what Jesus came to do. Luke 4:18 through 19 says, Jesus came to proclaim good news to the poor, proclaim freedom for the prisoners, give recovery of sight to the blind, set the oppressed free, proclaim the year of the Lord's favor. Jesus came for the broken. Jesus came for the ashamed. Jesus came for the traumatized. And He didn't come to shame us for being broken. He came to heal us, to restore us, to give us beauty for ashes. So, yes, Phoenix is a universal symbol, but Isaiah 61:3 is our biblical anchor. We're not just rising on our strength, we're rising because God transforms us. Part four, the four stages: victim, survivor, thriver, leader. When God gave me the Phoenix vision, He also showed me the stages of transformation. And this is important because a lot of women get stuck in one stage and don't know how to move forward. Here are the four stages. Stage one, victim. This is where trauma happens. This is the fire. This is the ashes. Victim is not a bad word. Let me say that again. Victim is not a bad word. If someone hurt you, abused you, betrayed you, abandoned you, you were a victim. That's a fact. That's the truth. And we don't skip over it or shame it. You were victimized. That happened to you. It wasn't your fault. But here's the key. You don't have to stay a victim. Characteristics of the victim stage: feeling powerless, hopeless, trapped, blaming yourself, shame, believing you will never heal, stuck in the trauma loop, stuck in the trauma loop. And that's okay for the seed. You need to process. You need time to grieve. You need time to name what happened to you. But eventually, with God's help, counseling, and healing, you move to stage two. Stage two is survivor. Survivor means I made it out. You left the abusive relationship. You got sober. You went to therapy. You told someone your secret. You reported the abuse. You survived. This is huge. Many women don't make it to survivor stage. They stay stuck in victim mode because they don't have support, resources, or hope. But you made it out. You're alive. You're safe. You're on the other side of the fire. Characteristics of survivor stage. You escaped immediate danger. You're in counseling or getting help. You're learning about trauma and healing. You're starting to believe healing is possible, but you're still defined by what happened to you. Here's the problem with survivor. You're still looking backward. Your identity is still tied to the trauma. I'm a domestic violence survivor. I'm a sexual assault survivor. I'm a childhood abuse survivor. And that's true. But if that's all you are, if you are still defined by the trauma, you're not fully healed yet. That's why we're moving to stage 3. Stage 3, thriver. Thriver means I'm not just surviving, I'm thriving. You're not just getting by, you're not just making it through the day, you're living again. You have joy, you have peace, you have purpose. You're starting to dream again. Characteristics of thriver stage. The trauma no longer controls you. You've processed the pain and integrated it into your story. You're looking forward, not backward. You're discovering who you are beyond the trauma. You're becoming the woman God created you to be. This is where transformation happens. This is where the phoenix rises. You're not denying what happened. You're not pretending it didn't hurt, but you're not defined by it anymore. Your identity is no longer abuse survivor. Your identity is daughter of the king, chosen, beloved, phoenix. But we don't stop at thriver. There's one more stage. Stage 4, leader. Leader means I'm using my story to help others. You've been through the fire. You've risen from the ashes. And now you're reaching back to help the women still in the flames. 2 Corinthians 1 3 through 4 say, Praise be to the God and Father of our Lord Jesus Christ, the Father of compassion and the God of all comfort, who comforts us in all of our troubles, so that we can comfort those in any trouble with the comfort we ourselves receive from God. God comforts us so that we can comfort others. That's the leader stage. You become a mentor to women in earlier stages, a facilitator of healing groups, an advocate for survivors, a voice for voiceless, a leader in the Phoenix Women Rising movement. This is the fullness of transformation. You don't just heal for yourself, you heal so you can help others heal. That's the 4 stages: victim, survivor, leader. And here's the beautiful thing: you can move through these stages at your own pace. There's no timeline, there's no pressure. God meets you where you are. Part 5: what Phoenix Women Rising Ministry offers. So now you know the vision, you know the stages, but what does Phoenix Women Rising Ministry do? How do we help women rise? Here's what we offer: the books. I've written a multi-volume Phoenix Women Rising book series that walks women through the healing journey. Volume 1 through 4 cover understanding trauma and its effects, the 4 stages of transformation, practical tools for healing, biblical foundations for recovery, stories of women who've risen. These books are available on Amazon and Barnes and Noble in paperback and Kindle. You can order them and work through them at your own pace. The podcast. You're listening to it right now. Women Are Chosen podcast releases weekly episodes on healing from trauma, faith and recovery, practical tools and encouragement, stories of Phoenix women rising, real, honest conversations about the journey. You can find us on all major podcast platforms. Subscribe, share, and let's keep rising together. Facilitator training. This is where it gets exciting. I am developing Phoenix Women Rising Facilitator training for women who want to lead trauma recovery groups in their churches, communities, or organizations. If God is calling you to be a leader, stage 4, if you want to help other women rise, this training will equip you with trauma informed care principles, group facilitation skills, biblical counseling foundations, the Phoenix Women Rising curriculum. Email me at Phoenix Women Rising Ministry at gmail.com. If you're interested in facilitator training, the community Phoenix Women Rising is more than a ministry. It is a movement. We are building a community of women who refuse to stay in the ashes, support each other through the fire, celebrate each other's rising, believe that together we are stronger. You can contact us at website womenarechosen.org, WordPress, JetBlog, daily encouragement and devotionals, TikTok.com at women.are.chosen, testimonies and truth, Substack, nightpsubstack.com, morning prayers delivered to your inbox. Email Phoenix Women Rising Ministry at gmail.com. We want you to be part of this community. Part 6, how to get involved into part 6, how to get involved. So here is my question for you today. What are you, where are you in the 4 stages? Are you a victim? Are you on victim stage? Still in the fire? Still hurting? Wondering if you will ever heal? There's hope. God needs you. Healing is possible. Are you on survivor stage? You made it out, but you are still defined by the trauma? Keep going. There's more for you. You're not just a survivor, you are becoming a thriver. Are you thriver stage? Are you in thriver stage? You are healing. You are growing. You are discovering who you are beyond the pain. Yes, keep rising. You're becoming the phoenix God created you to be. Are you on leader stage? You've healed and now you want to help others. We need you. Email me about facilitator training. Let's equip you to lead. Here's how you can get involved today. Order the books. Go to Amazon and search Phoenix Women Rising, Pamela Knight. Subscribe to the podcast, Women Are Chosen podcast on all platforms. Join the community. Visit womenarechosen.org and connect with us. Share your story. Email Phoenix Women Rising Ministry at gmail.com. Pray about facilitator training. Is God calling you to lead? Let's talk. Closing. Listen, I know this episode was longer than usual, but I needed you to understand the vision. I needed you to see the heart behind Phoenix Women Rising Ministry. This isn't just another woman's ministry. This is a movement of women who refuse to stay in the ashes. Isaiah 61:3 promises us beauty for ashes. And I've seen it happen in my own life, in my granddaughter's lives, in the lives of hundreds of women I've counseled over 20 years. You can rise. You will rise. and we're going to rise together. So thank you for listening to episode 33. Thank you for being part of this journey. And if you are new here, welcome. You are chosen, you are loved, you are a phoenix. Let's keep rising together. Until next time, I love you to the moon and back. This is Pamela Knight, and this is Women Are Chosen podcast. Phoenix Women Rising. End of episode 33. Thank you. I love you.